Rebellions are built on hope.
Again, apologize for the loud TARDIS noise, but all right, 10 minutes. We can do it. We'll take 10 minutes and we'll do a spoiler review of Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever. So, everyone on the chat, first off, thanks for joining us. Great. As always, you guys were there with your questions and your comments. If you haven't seen Black Panther 2, say your goodbyes now. Come back after you've watched it. I'll clip out this part and just put it on our War Between Fandoms kind of segment on the channel.
Everyone's leaving. Mo hasn't seen it. Andrew hasn't seen it. I hope you guys like it. Please go watch it. It's really good.
All right.
Yes,
go watch
it's
it and then
very,
come back
very good.
and
Very
listen and give thumbs up to the video when you see it.
Mhm.
Oti, you've been on Twitter saying you made your MCU ranking. You liked Black Panther. You didn't connect to it as much as a lot of other people did. You got to watch Black Panther 2 on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Seems that you really enjoyed this movie.
Really like
Just go, give me your thoughts on it.
It's in my top 10 MCU movies. I think it's number 10. I can't remember right now, but I really liked it. I was very pleasantly surprised because, as you mentioned, I did not connect that much with the first. I really like it. I think it's a great movie, but it's not a movie that when I want to watch a Marvel movie, it's not like one of those movies I go to. Like, I know so many people go to that movie, but I really don't. So I was excited for this one because the trailers looked amazing, and I was so curious. Like, what is this movie gonna be like?
Yeah,
like what's gonna happen? And my God, it was great. Like, I don't know if you noticed, Alberto. It was there was a lot of scenes filmed in Puerto Rico. Like,
I didn't know till you tweeted it out, and then I saw a report from one of the newspapers, Primera Hora, saying same thing. That a lot of things were shot there.
The scenes in Haiti, the scenes in I think it's Guatemala where they go.
Yeah,
you can't
one
remember.
Of those
the thing with the hacienda that's in Carolina. So
my hometown. Yeah, Carolina. Dude, don't start. We've had this conversation. We had this conversation before. Don't start.
Okay, so yeah, that was like a plus for me. But I'll just say it. I have beef with Letitia Wright. Like, I was very upset with the whole vaccination thing, and I was like, we're in spoilers, so I was bracing for she getting the mantle. That said, she was outstanding in the movie. Yeah. She was great, and she was great in the first Black Panther, by the way. So, but seeing her arc, like, it's basically a coming of age. She's this kid that still wants to be a kid. She just wants to be in the lab, and all of a sudden, you have to run a whole kingdom, and she was just fantastic in the movie, and I was really engaged with her arc. Angela Bassett just gave a powerhouse performance. Like, oh my goodness, that scene with Okoye when she fires her.
We're talking about monologues. We've been talking about monologues all day.
Very similar to Luthen, by the way. Like, what have I sacrificed? Yeah. I'll tell you what I have sacrificed. Yeah. And the whole Namor introduction, I really liked how they brought him in, and the whole colonialism aspect of it all really hit home for me. I've seen critics like talk about like, oh, he wasn't as compelling as Killmonger, maybe a little work, and I'm like, as a person living in a colony, like, that hit really home for me. So I was very, very, very happy with that character. So I don't know. I'll probably bounce off what you guys say, but A+ for me, definitely.
Yeah.
I love the first Black Panther movie. Black Panther is my son's, at least when it came out, was my son's favorite movie, favorite superhero. He didn't want to go to this one. He's kind of changed a little bit. But I watched that first movie a lot of times, and I've said here 20 times or even more, becoming a father changes you, and now that's why I gravitate to a lot in terms of connecting with movies. So the first Black Panther is a lot of T'Challa and his father and going through all that, and of course with Killmonger, his dad, and all that. So to me, that was what I connected to. And this movie was similar, but at the same time, it was how you grieve with the passing of your loved ones. Some people grieve differently, how they deal with it. It was a love letter, not to T'Challa, but to Chadwick Boseman, You knew as soon every time they mentioned T'Challa, the image of your mind was Chadwick. And that mural, even though we saw it on the trailer, every time they mentioned him, I'm like, okay, here comes the waterworks. I was able to hold it till
I didn't cry, but it
when
was powerful.
When it came to the post-credit scene, which that's not a post-credit scene, it's right.
Dakota.
I went like, when he said the name, my son is Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Challa. I lost it. I love you. Nothing better happened to you, son.
This is how the camera lingers on the t-shirt. Just
that's
also on the trailer, and I was heartbroken.
But it's the way they did it, because like you said, not just running a whole country, it's changing her whole perspective. She's technological, she doesn't do well with traditions, and she has to fall into traditions to be able to connect and all this, and to be able to accept her brother's death, which comes with he's not gone, his son is here, honoring him with the same name and still with the heritage. So all of that worked great. Tenoch Huerta as Namor, come on, dude. Yeah, we're all Latinos. You know I'm gonna love him, but he deserved it. Talocan was great. The little shark teeth, everything.
Yeah, that was cool.
I went to the bathroom and missed one part when he's talking with Shuri back in Talocan, but I really enjoyed this movie. I think I like the first one more, but it doesn't take away from this. But yeah, that scene when Angelica Houston is just first with the United Nations, just going through everything. And dude, just give me everything with I forgot the name. What's their the warriors there?
Oh, the Dora Milaje?
Oh, Dora Milaje.
Just give me everything with Dora Milaje. They're the best.
Oh god, they're so
and
cool.
Okoye, every time she's on screen, she takes over. Good. She's so great. Everything with them. I love in the first Black Panther the car chasing in South Korea, wherever they are. I love the car chase here and the fight.
And the bridge.
The fight on the bridge. That was
great.
I said here on our solo trivia, hammerhead sharks are my favorite shark. They didn't care for my comment, but they kick ass again here. I don't know the name of the character. He has his hammerhead skull helmet, and that fight on the bridge with Okoye was just phenomenal.
Great.
So I love this movie. I loved a lot of it. I didn't get as emotional as I thought because it kept cutting that right as I was getting there, but the ending got to me.
Yeah.
Lauren, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, powerful. I mean, those first 10 minutes, it hits. I mean, it hits, and it hits hard. You know, I mean, we don't obviously see, but we know, you know, that the character of T'Challa is sick. Shuri's trying to figure out how to help him by trying to make a, you know, synthesize heart-shaped herb. And she, you know, she fails. So you can already that arc. And Odie, I'm so with you. I have my gripes with her personally on her views on some stuff. Which again, she can have her views. That's fine. I'm just not a fan of them. And I was a little slightly worried. I was with you, Odie, as far as okay, I got to put that out of my mind and just focus on her, the actor, the character of Shuri. And she nailed it. She did. I can't express how much she just absolutely nailed this movie, because she had to run the mantle pretty much. Like it was up to her. I mean, because obviously through, you know, the queen, you know, again, we're in spoilers territory. The queen dies. That was unexpected for me. I did not see that coming. So for her character to lose her brother, and then a year almost later to lose her mother, and she already lost her father, as we know previously. I mean, how much can one character go through? So again, that scene of her going to the ancestry plane and then Killmonger shows up
out of nowhere.
Oh my god! I was like, yes, this is amazing. Because
I remember the rumors, and when that happened, I was like, oh, this is brilliant.
It was brilliant because again, how she was feeling, it made sense for him to show up in that moment, right? Like it completely made total sense. And again, her creating that herb because of what Namor gave her,
Mm-hmm.
because of what saved his mom, and the bracelet and the fibers obviously connect with the vibranium that's underwater, was brilliant. Again, you saw that kind of coming though once you knew what saved his mom and they saw the bracelet.
Yeah.
You put two and two together, and you knew Shuri would kind of connect it and make a herb, and she would become the new Black Panther, which was great. I loved the suit; looks great. She looked great. I loved all that. The fight scene was great. But yeah, I mean, speaking of Namor, again, how they say it in the movie, Namor instead of Namor, I loved it. I love the meaning behind that. Again, Tola Khan was gorgeous. I can't wait to go back there. And his character is fascinating because, again, I don't think he's a villain, so to speak, right? He's a guy that was just trying to save the people that he cared about, the world, everything that kind of hit T'Challa's dad, T'Chaka, was doing with Wakanda, right? He wanted to keep them away from the outside world. And that's what Namor was trying to do as well. So you understand how Shuri kind of connected with him in that sense, but then again, she gets to the point of, he attacks Wakanda, he kills his mother, he kills her mother, the queen, and she loses it. And again, you start with phase 4 with WandaVision and grief, and you end it with grief with Black Wakanda Forever. It's a beautiful, again, how they did this phase 4 of grief and what people were going through. And it makes sense because people, again, we went through it, the end game was a huge event. It rattled a lot of people, right? And it had a lot of ripple effects with grief and everything like that. People had losses. So for this whole phase to kind of go through that, but then specifically this movie with the loss of Chadwick Boseman, and just, God, that whole, funeral scene was beautiful. The casket with the arm, and those first 10 minutes, I was just, again, I didn't cry either, but man, I was just like, God, this is hitting me in a very emotional way. And then again, that speech by the Queen at the UN, beautiful. I mean, and then for them to show they had restraint and capturing the people that were trying to steal the vibranium and not killing them. It was just chef's kiss all the way around. I love this movie. I want to go see it again. I probably will go see it again. And it's up there as far as Marvel movies for me. Now, again, I love the first Black Panther 2 a lot, as you did, Alberto. And it's hard. It's kind of hard for me to say this one was better than that, because I think we're talking kind of two different things almost, where, obviously we had T'Challa in the first movie, and you had, this sense of just amazing performances in that first movie, and just the cultural significance of it. And then you look at this movie, and again, the loss of that of Chadwick was felt, but they did such a good job with it. Again, that ending you talked about, Alberto, with the son and everything like that, was beautifully wrapped up. I loved it. It's almost like it was a sequel, but it was also not a sequel. It's hard, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it was a beautiful movie, though, a film. And it just so happened to be a Marvel movie. Honestly, like that's how I feel about it. And that's not like a slight. It's a great movie. And it's up there for me as far as Marvel. Like, I loved it. And I can't wait to go see it again.
I agree.
Yeah, they had a very hard job to do with this movie. Not just following Black Panther, which, like you said, just culturally, the impact that it had for the African American community cannot be understated. So it's following that in itself was a challenge. But then losing your star, your protagonist, someone that everyone loved as a person, actor, everything. Yeah. And I think for that challenge that not to compare, but Rise of Skywalker, they had to deal with the loss of Carrie Fisher, and they went two different ways. Yeah. Recast, and a lot of people I've saw online, they should recast Black Panther because what this character means to the culture. But they decided to go the other way. And I love, like you said, Lauren, the first 10 minutes, they just go straight into it and just go head on. So just to finish up, unless you guys have any final thoughts, do you think they did the right thing by continuing this story without T'Challa and then just moving the mantle of Black Panther, or should they have recast it and go with the original idea?
No, I totally agree. I think it was a ballsy move because, marketing and everything, T'Challa, but I completely agree with them. I don't know if I've ever talked about this in the podcast. I don't love what they did with Leia and Rise of Skywalker, not because I thought it was disrespectful. It just really took me out of it because I knew what happened. I knew that wasn't her. So, and I think like JJ and team did the absolute best thing they could do with that. So it's two different approaches. I don't know which one's right or which one's wrong. It's up to the creators. And I'm impressed how this movie turned out because if you think about it, they didn't make the movie they want to make. Yeah. They made the movie they were forced to make because life happens and you can't do anything about it. So, and I forgot to mention that Killmonger scene, but I'm a sucker for characters having the worst thing that can happen to them happen. And in that moment, seeing Killmonger there is the worst thing that could have happened to her. So, and just Michael B. Jordan just stealing
as always. I know, right?
Because he's just insanely good.
It was a recent, and to wrap it all up, Alberto, and I apologize real quick. So I was watching. It might have been New Rock Stars, but there is a podcast that they were mentioning that talks about this movie and it's the creators. And I guess Ryan Coogler did mention that, the original kind of idea for this movie was very similar to what they have. Obviously, very different.
And I can see that, honestly.
Yeah. And that's what I was just going to say. I could see where this would be still where they went, obviously maybe in a different way. But I think the overall arc of like grief and things like that, I think would have been still the focus of the second movie. But again, they just had to do it in a very, very, very different way. And I think they did it to the best of their abilities. I think what they did as far as not recasting, I think that was a good move. I really do. I think how they tributed everything to Chadwick was amazing. And again, just like you said, Alberto, to have the name T'Challa still in the MCU and just be his son, it works. Like, okay, you just let the kid grow up. He'll be the next Black Panther. Named T'Challa, it works out beautifully, and I think that was a really good, again, smart move on their part.
Yeah. All right, and with that, we'll wrap it up for our Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever spoiler review, our first movie review for something that's not Star Wars or a TV show. So, yay, everyone! All right, so I want to thank, as always, Oti. Thank you also, Lauren, for being here. Everyone in the chat, you're great. Nothing surprising because you're always great, but Lauren, we'll start with you. Where can people find you? Again, first, thanks for having me on your show, Oti, a few weeks ago, but where can people find you?
Yeah, again, thank you for having me on, and I'm glad I got you guys both on my show as well. But yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter for the I guess for foreseeable future until something better comes along. You can follow me there at Loro Knows, and you can follow the podcast there as well, the Galactic Podcast, at the Galactic Pod as well on Twitter. And then also Geek Broadcast. I'll give you an exclusive. We are coming back.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And maybe in a couple weeks or with definitely next year. So, yeah, at Geek Broads Pod is our Twitter handle, I think. I can't remember because I haven't used it in a long time. But Geek Broadcast, we're coming back as well. So that's where you can find me and all the good stuff I do.
All right. Oti, you won't be here for the next 2 weeks. No. We will see you again for Star Wars Trivia Finale, December 10th in 4 weeks. We'll be here. We got to finish up the questions and all that, but we'll have it ready. Just say, where can people find you?
I'm here every Saturday except for the next 2 Saturdays. But you can find me over at Twitter and Instagram at whatever it says down here, Star Wars. Alberto leaves the link down below, and yeah.
All right, so thank you again, Oti. Thank you, Lauren. We'll see you guys next week with our guest. Oti's friend will be here replacing him. We'll have fun, I'm sure. Can't wait for it.
The wild man.
Yes, and then we'll be here. Stay safe. The flu is out there. I don't know. Get vaccinated.
Get your shots, people.
Just stay safe. Be safe. And may the force be with you.